There comes a quiet moment in the storm of life when you no longer crave the noise. When the pull of urgency, the chase for recognition, and the weight of expectations all begin to fade, not because you've failed, but because you've outgrown them. You find yourself standing at a strange threshold. The fire that once drove you is now just ash, and yet you are not empty. Something softer is forming where ambition once stood. Something truer. There is no applause here, no spotlight, just a golden hush, like the sky before sunset, when everything is touched by light, even the broken things. In this hour, you begin to realize you're not behind, you're not broken, you are in the in-between, not the end of a chapter, but the beginning of your golden age, not the age of more, but the age of meaning, where your soul, no longer frantic for validation, turns inward toward wisdom. And in that turning, you find peace not in having the answers, but in holding the right questions. Carl Jung would call this the alchemical phase, a time when the ego dissolves, the shadow is made visible, and what remains is not ruin, but essence. Gold, true gold. And it does not come through striving, it comes through becoming. These aren't just life changes, these are signs that you're stepping into your golden age, the chapter where your past no longer defines you, and your future is forged from depth, not fear. Carl Jung believed that human life unfolds in two great arcs. The first arc, the one our culture glorifies, is about building the ego. We construct identity, pursue goals, collect roles and titles. We climb ladders, we accumulate. But eventually the soul begins to hunger for something more real. The second arc begins, not with gain, but with shedding. The mask that once protected now feels suffocating. The question is no longer, how can I succeed, but who am I really? In Jungian psychology, this turning point is the beginning of individuation, the process of becoming whole. He borrowed imagery from alchemy, where the transformation of base metals into gold symbolized the refinement of the human soul. The ego is burned down, the shadow integrated, and the self begins to emerge, not as perfection, but as authenticity. This golden age isn't about external triumph, it's about inner alignment. It's when the fragments of your life begin to speak to each other. It's when you live from essence, not performance. So when we say you're entering your golden age, we're not speaking of wealth or fame, although those may come. We're speaking of the soul's coronation, when insight replaces impulse, when solitude feels like sanctuary, when depth becomes your compass. So how do you know this process has begun? It doesn't look like triumph. It looks like surrender, clarity, and sacred disillusionment. Now let's gently uncover the 4 subtle signs that your soul is stepping into its golden age. Sign number 1, you're losing interest in winning. There comes a moment when the hunger to win starts to quiet, not because you failed, but because the prize no longer dazzles. In your earlier years, life was a proving ground. You measured progress by achievements, recognition, and the approval of others. You learned to run faster, climb higher, speak louder, all in hopes of being seen as enough. But now, something within you is changing. Even when you succeed, it no longer lands the same. The applause echoes, but it doesn't fill you. It feels strangely distant, like you're watching someone else's victory from behind a glass wall. Jung might say the ego, which once ruled your choices like a god, is beginning to step aside. You are not becoming lazy or disinterested. You are becoming whole. There is no longer a need to compete when you're finally listening to your own rhythm. The desire to win, to impress, to outperform is slowly replaced by a deeper longing, to live in alignment, to speak truth even when it isn't popular, to walk away from what doesn't nourish you, no matter how shiny it looks on paper. This is not a breakdown, it's a reorientation. Your compass no longer points to the world's standards. It turns toward your soul, towards simplicity, peace, presence. And yes, the old self may panic. The part of you that believed worth came from productivity might protest, feeling lost without a scoreboard to climb. But in the silence of that unraveling, you begin to hear something softer, truer, the pulse of your own life. It doesn't race, it steadies. And that stillness? That's sovereignty. That's the golden age unfolding inside you. It whispers that you are no longer here to perform. You are here to remember. You are here to be. And so, the golden age does not begin with more striving. It begins with the quiet grace to stop chasing what was never truly yours. Sign number 2. Your pain is becoming wisdom. There comes a quiet moment in your journey when you stop running from the things that hurt you. Not because the pain disappears, but because it begins to speak a different language. You start to realize that the heartbreaks, the betrayals, the disappointments, they weren't just tragedies, they were initiations. You no longer see your wounds as signs of failure or injustice, but as teachers. Jung believed that what we repress doesn't just vanish, it forms our shadow. And to become whole, we must turn toward it. That's what you've started to do. The memories you once avoided are now spaces of reflection. Instead of blaming, you've begun asking, what was this trying to reveal to me? Your suffering has softened you, not hardened you. You carry more compassion now, not just for others, but for your younger self. You understand why she stayed, why she broke, why she kept silent, and in that understanding, you begin to reclaim your power. The pain no longer defines you, it refines you. You speak more gently, not because you've lost your fire, but because you know the weight of words. You no longer try to save others from their darkness, because you've learned that true transformation can't be rushed. You see that everyone has their own sacred timeline. Your pain, once heavy and chaotic, now holds form. It's shaped you into someone who listens deeply, who loves wisely, who sees clearly. This is what alchemy looks like in real life. Not glitter and glow, but tears that turned into clarity. The parts of your story you used to hide have become your medicine. You've stopped searching for someone to rescue you from it, and instead, you've become the guardian of your own light. There's a maturity here that doesn't need to be announced. It simply shows in how you move through the world, with grace, with discernment, with a softness earned through fire. And so, your golden age doesn't begin when the pain is gone. It begins when the pain starts to shine. When your past no longer feels like a weight, but a source of wisdom. When you can sit with it, hold it gently and say, this didn't break me, it built me. Sign number 3, you're more drawn to the inner world than the outer. Without even trying, you find yourself seeking depth over distraction. The things that once thrilled you, constant connection, endless scrolling, background noise, now feel like static. Instead, you crave quiet. Solitude doesn't scare you anymore. It feels like a sanctuary. Maybe you retreat to your journal, maybe to a walk in nature, maybe just to your own thoughts. But either way, you're not running from the world. You're listening more deeply to your place in it. Others might think you're pulling away, but what's really happening is an inward blooming. Carl Jung believed that the soul speaks through dreams, symbols, and the unconscious. All things we cannot hear when the outer world is too loud. So when you begin to turn inward, you're not abandoning life. You're entering it more honestly. This is the moment when reality stops being what's handed to you and starts being what you craft from within. The need to impress, to gather status, to perform fades, and in its place comes a quiet power. You find meaning in things others overlook. You hear the wisdom in stillness. You value fewer friendships, but they go deeper. You don't want 100 voices around you, you want one moment of truth. And here's the beauty of it. The more you journey inward, the more beautiful the outer world becomes. It softens, it slows. You no longer chase beauty, you start to see it everywhere. This isn't isolation, it's revelation. The pull toward introspection is not a loss of vitality, it's the uncovering of it. You realize the world doesn't need more of your hustle, it needs more of your essence. And essence is only found in quiet. When you stop outsourcing your identity and begin to trust the quiet wisdom inside you, everything changes. You don't need to be seen to feel real. You don't need noise to feel alive. Your golden age doesn't come in applause or affirmation. It arrives softly in a moment of stillness when your soul whispers, "Here I am." The deeper you go inward, the more golden the world begins to look. Sign number 4, you're no longer afraid of the endings. Once they shook you to your core. A breakup felt like failure, a lost friendship, a door slammed forever. Aging made you anxious. Even little changes stirred panic, as if anything unfamiliar was a threat. But now, something has shifted. You still feel the sting of loss, the ache of goodbye, but you meet it differently. There is grace in your grief. You don't cling as tightly. You've stopped trying to hold back the tides of life. Instead, you let them wash through you. Carl Jung taught that the psyche evolves through cycles, death and rebirth, loss and renewal. And now you see that too. What once looked like destruction now looks like transformation. Something falls away, and you begin to ask, not, "Why is this happening to me?" but "What is this making space for?" This doesn't mean you're immune to pain. It means you trust the process. It means you've matured in your sorrow. You've walked through enough endings to know that they are not the enemy. They are the teachers. The truth is, you've outgrown your fear. Not by forcing bravery, but by surviving what you once thought you couldn't. You've seen how life continues, even after your heart breaks. How something always comes, quietly, to fill the space. And so you let go faster. You don't beg the past to return. You don't fight to keep what's fading. You bow gently, even through tears, because you know what's meant for you never needs force. You know peace doesn't come from holding on, but from allowing. This surrender is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's the kind of inner richness no one can see from the outside. The kind of gold that grows only in silence, only in endings. And maybe now, when something slips away, you feel the pain, but also the soft light behind it. A flicker of trust, a whisper of becoming. Because when you no longer fear what ends, you become a vessel for what wants to begin. If you felt the gentle shift in yourself, less afraid of endings, more drawn inward, wiser through pain, and less caught in the race to win, pause here for a moment. These aren't just observations, they're invitations from your soul to step fully into your golden age. Reflect on where you've been holding on too tightly, what old stories still shape your fears, and how you might begin to lean into this new way of being. This isn't about rushing to change or fixing yourself. It's about allowing the transformation already underway to settle in, to be felt and owned. Write a quiet letter to yourself, acknowledging your struggles, your growth, and the slow, sure unfolding beneath the surface. Ask, how can I nurture this new wisdom? Where can I release what no longer serves? The golden age doesn't ask for perfection, it asks for presence. For the courage to embrace your evolving self with patience and grace. In doing so, you honor the sacred alchemy of your journey, turning what was once heavy into pure gold. You won't hear trumpets or see bright banners announcing your golden age. It arrives softly, like the gentle evening light that quietly touches everything in its path. You'll recognize it not by perfection or grand achievements, but by a deep surrender to what is, a letting go of the need for control or approval. Carl Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." Perhaps this golden age is less about age or success and more about returning home to your true self, your essence, your soul. So if you find yourself softer, wiser, and less entangled in the chaos of the world, don't fear fading away. You're not fading, you're becoming gold.